Welcome to this video about humans as electromagnetic beings. I am Malena and I am one of the creators of Sunring Astrology. If you watched the last video or the previous video, and I recommend you to do that before you watch this one, you will know that we humans are electromagnetic beings and that we are constantly submerged in an ocean of electromagnetic frequencies. These frequencies come primarily from the sun, the moon, and the Earth's own magnetic field. And this field is so encompassing and so vast that our brain and our conscious mind, our senses, filter out most of reality. So visible light, the visible light spectrum, as I have mentioned in the previous video, only make up about 1% of all the electromagnetic frequencies that we are constantly bombarded with. And we can include sound frequencies, and the sounds that we can hear. We can include infrared light from the sun, UV radiation. Still, I think it's not even 1% of all the electromagnetic frequencies that we are exposed to constantly. And as I also said in the previous video, we humans are electromagnetic beings. Since we have electrical currents in our bodies, we create an electromagnetic field around ourselves. So we are electromagnetic beings with our own toroidal fields, auras, or whatever you say, and at the same time we are submerged in this ocean of frequencies from the sun, moon, and earth. But if we now look closer into our bodies, let's see what is happening there. As I mentioned, we have electric currents in our bodies, so we have electrons traveling around, but just as the blood, electrons don't flow in some sort of disordered, haphazard manner. They also have a purposeful way of traveling around wherever they are supposed to be, just as the blood that flows in our veins. And the transport medium for electrons is not like our veins in our bodies, it's actually water. So electrons travel around in the body via water, but not just any water, not H2O, but H3O. So instead of 2 hydrogen atoms and an oxygen atom, we have 3 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen. And when water takes on this form, it has a form of geometrical structure and create some sort of plasma phase. It's actually called the 4th phase of water. The first phase is, or the other 3 phases are solids, which is ice, liquid, which is water that you can drink, for example, and gas, which is like steam. But this is the so-called 4th phase of water, where water takes on a geometrical kind of plasma, form, and like actually a liquid crystal. So it's liquid crystal water. Maybe you've heard about liquid crystals in flat screen TVs. So this is like a similar structure, you could say. And this H3O or liquid crystals has other names. For example, structured water or exclusion zone water, EZ water for short, because this water protects our membranes and prevents toxins from, for example, reaching the cell nucleus and so on. So it's also called exclusion zone water. And besides having this plasma kind of characteristic, these H3O molecules have a positive side and a negative side. They are bipolar. And what else has a positive and a negative side? Well, a battery. So this liquid crystal water inside our bodies, the H2O structured water, exclusion zone water, works like a battery. So that energy is always available for all of the processes in the body and in the cells. So it does not only work as a transport medium for electrons flowing around, but also as a battery. And to be healthy, to have energy available wherever it is needed, we humans need to maintain this structured water. And we do that by going out in the sun, because we build this structured or liquid crystal water with the exposure of infrared light from the sun. Of course, you can use infrared light panels, or when you move your body, you create infrared light as well, or warmth. But the main source is, of course, the sun. So that's why it is so important to stay out in the sun. We have been told many times that, oh, the sun is dangerous and, well, you have to, protect yourself from the sun. But it's very harmful for the body not to be exposed to sunshine, because we will not be able to maintain our liquid crystal water, and that will have harmful effects on our whole body. And this liquid crystal water, all water that we have in our bodies is not this liquid crystal H2O, but this water, as I said, it's also called exclusion zone water because it protects our membranes and different, like cell nucleus and so on. And basically, it covers the fascia or connective tissue. If you know something about the connective tissue, you know that it is a three-dimensional network or matrix that permeates everything. Eyes, kidneys, liver, lungs, everywhere is this three-dimensional network of collagen fibers that we call the fascia or connective tissue. And H3O surrounds this, the collagen fibers, and this is the way electrons are transported. They can reach any place, anywhere in the body through the H3O surrounded fascia. So as I said, to maintain your health, or to reduce inflammation and for rejuvenation or whatever, you need to maintain this structure in your body, and that's why you have to spend time outdoors, exposing your body to the sun. Infrared light is this long wavelengths, so they can penetrate clothes. You don't have to run around naked all day, but it's very helpful to regularly during the day expose yourself to the sun. And we also, except for this maintaining this transport medium for electrons in our bodies, we also need the electrons themselves. And what is a fairly established fact is that only about a third of the electrons that we need come from the food we eat via this Krebs cycle or whatever. Or some scientists even say that what the Krebs cycle does, or this when you produce this ATP in the cells, is maintaining or controlling the right folding of proteins. So the true source of electrons or energy is other sources, for example, Earth. This is why it's so beneficial with grounding. When you, for example, stand with barefoot on the ground or touch a tree or some other living thing outdoors, because Mother Earth will provide us with an unlimited amount of free electrons so that we humans can maintain a healthy negative charge. Yeah. I saw, it was this short video the other day about, it was a person with a really suboptimal blood profile. You could see in images that the blood platelets, they were like almost sticking together. And that person went outdoors grounding for, I think it was 5 or 10 minutes. And afterwards, the blood was normalized. And this is because the platelets in the blood, the blood platelets, they have a negative charge on the outside. So they will repel each other. They will not clump together, building clouds. Also, the lining of the blood vessels should have a healthy negative charge, because then the blood platelets will not stick to the walls, but flow freely, perfect circulation. But what happens then if we are deficient in electrons, when we don't have this the healthy negative charge that we need? Well, then everything starts clumping together. So that is how you can improve your blood, by just being outdoors, touching a tree, or standing barefoot on the ground. And this is not what you read in medical school, but there are actually doctors who have started to look at the body this way, because it turns out that some modern treatments are very suboptimal for when you see humans as electromagnetic beings. I mean, you can study humans in different ways. You can see humans as an osteopath or chiropractor does, like some sort of apparatus, skeletons, muscles, movement. Most doctors see the body as some sort of sack with chemicals. But the chemical signals and reactions that take place in the body are far too few and far too slow to explain all the myriad of reactions that take place every second or millisecond or even nanosecond in the body. So to really understand the body, we need to see it as from an electromagnetic perspective. So besides getting free electrons from Mother Earth, we can also get electrons, or excite the electrons that we have, by exposing ourselves to ultraviolet light. Yes, it's not just dangerous, and you shouldn't just stay away from it. You need it to maintain health. And all the light from the sun will also regulate the circadian rhythm in our bodies. I mean, this is not energy you get fat of. It's energy that makes you lean and healthy, because when you're outdoors, you regulate your circadian rhythm, and even fat cells have a circadian clock. And if you are only indoors, or when you're outdoors, you have sunglasses or glasses or lenses, you will block the information from the sun. So the cells in your body will have no clue what time of day it is. And that means that their cycle of hormone productions from insulin, adrenaline, cortisol, testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, everything will be out of balance, because the body's own clock in every cell will be totally confused. So this is, we are, as I mentioned, electromagnetic beings. We can, and by this we also create an electromagnetic field around ourselves. And this is what we were talking about in the last video, that having all these electrons flowing inside our body, the electric currents, which we have explained, that flow around in this liquid crystal, we create an electromagnetic field around ourselves. And this field, as I mentioned before, is like a toroidal field. A toroidal field looks like, if you see an image, like an apple. It goes like, this around. And you can call this field your aura, of course. And we are like connected via our auras in this electromagnetic field. So it's a fascinating thought. And as I also mentioned in the other video, is like our electromagnetic field is the strongest at the heart, and you can measure this electromagnetism far out from the body. We don't know how long it reaches. And you can also measure differences if you feel love, harmony, joy, because then your electromagnetic field becomes coherent and very beneficial for your body. But when you feel hate, anger, frustration, irritation, and so on, your field becomes incoherent. It becomes chaotic. And it also becomes chaotic from non-natural electromagnetic frequencies, from, for example, computers, phones, and all these towers. It creates a chaos environment or a disturbance, because it's normally should just be exposed to these natural electromagnetic frequencies from the Earth, Sun, Moon, and planets, or other factors, of course, that we perhaps don't know about. But non-natural electromagnetic frequencies create some sort of disturbance. So it will be more difficult for our cells and bodies. So avoid that as much as you can if you want to maintain your health. That's my suggestion. But here we are, seeing ourselves how we really are. And when we talk about electromagnetism, that is still on a rather crude or gross level of reality. You can talk about scalar waves and plasma energy, and even ether. Ether has made a comeback. We start to realize that out there in space or around in our cells, and there's not just, if you think this quantum reality, it's not just vacuum. Everything seems to be penetrated or, well, filled with something that we can call ether. So I have to check my notes now because I have so much to talk about. So yes, as I also mentioned in the previous video, is that we are fractal antennas. H3O is in fact a fractal antenna. And now you start to wonder, so what does this got to do with everything and with astrology? But fractals can be explained like repeating geometrical patterns. And I always use a cauliflower as an example. If you take a cauliflower and then you take off a little piece of that cauliflower, that little piece will also look like a little cauliflower. And you take off another little piece from that smaller piece, and that piece will also look like a little miniature cauliflowers. And so this is fractals. It's repeating geometrical patterns, and you can find them all over in nature. And H3O in our bodies, the liquid crystal water, structured water, exclusion zone water, it also forms a fractal antennas. And an antenna can receive wavelengths that are related to the length of the antenna. So a long antenna can receive long wavelengths, and shorter antennas can receive shorter wavelengths. And since H3O is a fractal antenna, we can, on some level, even if we are not consciously aware of it, receive any wavelength or electromagnetic frequencies that we are exposed to. As you remember, in the beginning of this video, we said that we are only consciously aware of less than 1% of the electromagnetic reality, or the electromagnetic frequencies that we are submerged into. But on some level, unconsciously or via our subconscious mind or higher mind, we are receptible to all electromagnetic frequencies that we are exposed to. So if we now go back to astrology, which has been used for thousands of years, says that at a person's birth, we will get some sort of imprint that will characterize us for the rest of our lives. But conventional or astrology so far has not explained what that kind of imprint consists of. But in Sunring astrology, we think it's the imprint you get when you leave your mother's womb, because then you not only leave her electromagnetic field, you come out into another electromagnetic field. You don't come out in emptiness, but you will get a total blast of the electromagnetic frequencies at that specific time and that specific place on Earth. And that imprint will be unique to you. And you will carry that imprint and shine it out to the world for the rest of your life. As long as I have mentioned already in the other video, as long as you are true to yourself and are happy and harmonious and so on, when you do not try and live up to other people's expectation, to some sort of artificial persona that you have created. So this is what we believe that astrology really is, and what astrology that astrology is in essence the description of the electromagnetic field. And as mentioned, astrology dedicates a lot of time to the planets. We don't, because we think when we look up in the sky that sun and moon, they are immense. They are very visible, whereas planets are only of minor importance. We don't even know the importance for our biological life, although they are always there and always modify this electromagnetic field. So they should not be dismissed. But for you to get to know yourself, you can concentrate or focus on the sun's position in your birth chart, the position of the moon, and on the electromagnetic field, which we will discuss in another video, where we will go through the zodiac signs, what they really are, and the imprint that you will get when you are born. But this was what I was going to talk to you about in this video, about humans as electromagnetic beings. I hope you found it interesting and that you got some tips on how to improve your health. And we live in a, I would say, divine world. It's created with beauty and harmony. And if we connect to it, which we do just by going out in nature, I think we will live a happier life. And if we also understand who we really are, our unique imprint, it will be easier to create a life that brings harmony and joy. So that will be the topic of the next video. Thank you for listening.